All right, so we're getting some class changes, boys, and we're getting the revamp for the leveling experience. These are pretty much good news. We have some details to cover through, so let's just kick it off right from the start. Let's talk about the class changes. Now, there weren't too much details, but I think the main focus was bringing back the class fantasy and also bringing back a lot of abilities that will be class-wide. So I know you really got pumped up for the totems, because all shamans now will have the totems.
Yes, you can. So right now the elemental shaman has the totem mastery spec where you could just put like 4 totems down. Yeah. Now a part of those totems and a few others are going to be individual totems that all classes can use. Although they didn't specifically say that.
All classes, all specs. Yeah.
Unless all specs will actually get access to the totem mastery spell that puts all the totems down. But either way, like all 3 specs will be able to physically put goddamn totems down.
Yeah, that, and also warlocks get all the curses, right? The 4 curses. All specs of the warlocks will have the 4 curses.
Rogues get poisons. Poisons will be like
finally
back available.
Finally back, man. But I wish they would have brought back, or at least say they would bring back recuperate for rogues, man. That was such a cool ability to have.
I don't know if that's all. I don't think they've shown every ability that you're gonna get back. So maybe there's still hope for some of them. Maybe they're still gonna test and figure out exactly which ones to do and which ones to know. So guys, everything that you see here is basically a very early version of everything. The abilities that we show you on screen or that you might have seen on the panel might not actually end up but being replaced with other abilities. The fact is, we are getting class-wide spells.
Yeah, and it's at the end of the day, it's extra buttons. Okay, so we wanted that. I mean, of course, paladins get their auras back.
Oh my god.
And one thing to note there is that for some time when we did have auras, like all the paladin specs had auras, make them worthy. Like when you play Retribution, you play with your Retribution auras, or when you want to do damage as Prot, you put that as well, but it has to do something, not be like completely useless. So that's my shit on
it. You know what I thought about when I saw the Devotion aura being one of the auras that you get back? That's a Holy Priest cooldown.
Holy Priest?
Holy Paladin cooldown.
Yeah, it's on the talent.
If that's a talent, so if that's no longer a talent, that means you're gonna get different talents. And if that happens to Holy Paladins, it might happen to everybody, meaning that we're gonna have some switches to the talents. But they didn't say anything about that. But I mean, we can pretty much infer that.
We can assume it, yes, because there's also Orsol's Vortex over there. There's Hammer of Wrath, which is also a talent.
Yeah, they're taking talents back and putting them into spells.
Baseline abilities for all the classes once again. And I'm really curious how a lot of those abilities are gonna work with the specs, because right now I think we're all focused on spec stuff because we played through Legion and BFA. We all spec oriented.
We kind of were built towards this way.
Yeah, and you know, Shadowing Throw is making a comeback as well. It's gonna have warriors fucking up paladins and mages in arenas. That's pretty exciting, man. When you see a lot of these abilities coming back, or having a lot of the abilities on all of the specs, like developing or getting back to the class identity, right? I think this will be great for the brand new leveling revamp.
Oh yeah, they did. Well, I mean, they did want to say that they did actually say that leveling will matter, and each level we're gonna get something new, and they said something like, for instance, warriors at level 1 through 10, they're gonna get shield block. Like up until you reach level 10, you don't have a spec. You're just a warrior, just a priest, you're just a paladin. And then they also said, because if you remember, Ian did a Q&A earlier this year where they said they want to bring abilities back, but they don't want people to log in and say like, oh my god, I have all these new buttons to spec. Oh, I gotta go back to Fortnite. No, they don't want to do that. So what they're gonna be doing is giving us our abilities as part of a progression system. And since most of us are already max level, we're probably most likely going to get some of these abilities as we level through Shadowlands. So we're probably gonna unlock, I don't know, curses again, anti-magic zone, stuff like that were usually lost. Now they're gonna be part of the leveling.
That could be it, or maybe they're gonna be there for the max level characters, and you're gonna have some brand new abilities. Because I'm hoping for that. Nice. They didn't show anything, but I think one thing to compensate that is the covenant abilities that you get, like a covenant ability and a class specific covenant abilities. So you get 2 of them, which will be new abilities for all of the classes. Yeah,
you could think that the Covenant class specific ability would be the normal new talent ability that you would get normally in like past expansions. You know, each expansion gives you a new ability.
But I want new talents too, man.
Yeah, no, the talent system, they didn't touch anything about this, and it seems it
goes without saying there's gonna be brand new stuff there.
The deep dive guys seem like they were still pretty open about changing a lot of the things, right? So what we saw right now could still be subject to change, so I'm really hoping that the talent system gets a revamp. I don't know if it's going to be
It will for sure, man. I mean, think about it. There's a lot of talents that are getting baseline. So the new talent system, I don't know if it's a brand new mechanic of a talent system, but definitely new talents are going to come in for sure. That's a given. And you pointed out exactly the vibe from the devs on stage was like, hey guys, we're open, we're hearing it, so bring it on.
Yeah.
So probably there's gonna
go on the forums, guys. Go on the feedback in the PTR whenever they're enabling that beta.
So. You better get your teeth in that.
Ian, subscribe to our channel.
I think he already is. But going back to the leveling experience, man, I think that is just amazing. First of all, the level squish had to happen. We've like ranted on for a lot of videos that, you know, numbers on the screen, even in the, I don't know, 24K-ish, it seemed ridiculous to me. I'm not even going to go in the past and look to millions. But, you know, having a crit for 1K or something sounds more normal. And that would be a huge, huge value over there. Plus the fact that now you have, like, if you're a brand new player, you're going to start off in a brand new leveling zone from 1 to 10.
Talk about that. Exile's Reach.
The Exile's Reach, which basically is sort of an introductory to World of Warcraft. Like, there's a lot of common and the same vibe you would get from a lot of the World of Warcraft places. They're all cramped up there to get you familiar with all of the world. At the end, there's a dungeon as well, which is not a classical dungeon.
That seemed very modern. I remember playing, I think it was Terra, an MMO, and I played at 2 different times during the game's expansion. I had 2 different experiences as an intro, and I feel like they were adapting from other MMOs where new players are actually, if you haven't played WoW at all, you don't have any accounts, you're gonna start in Exile's Reach, you cannot do anything else. You're kind of forced to see the modern content, the modern side of the game, instead of being put into this, oh my god, I have 7-8 expansions to choose from, what do I choose, right?
Which is a fair point.
I think that can be a little bit too daunting, and it seems awkward. If I want to join a game, I don't want to, okay, what do you want to choose? Well, I don't know, what should I choose? I can see that, that's a fair point.
Yeah, and new players also are basically forced to go directly into Battle for Azeroth after they finish their 1 to 10 campaign, and that's another point
I think that's
we want to get into, because after you finish level 10, you have the option, well, existing players and alts, you have the option to choose your 10 to 50 experience from all of the expansions, and I think that's super good.
You know what they said? They used a couple of keywords, chromie time. They said there was chromie time because they mentioned that it was kind of like an instant leveling experience, probably with other people who are instanced, like layered. You're probably going to be in that zone with other people that have basically chose the same expansion, so
that unaffected by the next expansions.
I think so, yeah.
So that would be a pristine way to do it.
Can you choose classic and do the old style barons?
They didn't say anything about classics. They didn't say. But again, I think the solution for this is really awesome. And as much as I am bored of leveling with the current leveling system, I actually got excited to try leveling, you know, because there's parts of maybe the experience we had back in the other expansions that we missed during the leveling, or we're not paying attention that fast, especially the last ones where we started doing YouTube content. Maybe we didn't pay that much attention.
Kind of rushed through a little bit, and I think it adds to the perspective where you see, oh, I have 40 levels to get through the whole story. That's pretty cool. Instead of, oh, I have like 110 levels to go through, and I can do these, but not that.
It's too much. It's too much. Yeah. Plus, again, it will tie in with the level squish. You're gonna get like brand new abilities and talents as you go along. It makes it much more rewarding as well. So that's a major plus. But come on, man, one of the big things, and I know you're excited for this one, the tower, man.
Torghast. Oh my god. I was super excited when they announced Warfronts in Ireland, so I'm hoping that this will be executed properly, because I'm still like cautiously optimistic. I'm still a little bit, you know, but this has potential to be super awesome. So basically, the Torghast Tower is a roguelike game. It's like it's a dungeon, and you start from the base of the tower and you go up. Each time the levels will be different. Like the layout will be slightly different. Where you had the left turn, you'll have a right turn. The mobs will be placed different. So every time it's
very
a different experience.
Yeah.
What's cool is that as you progress through these, you kill mobs that drop anima, which is like the new artifact power stuff. And you can also get bonuses and perks that only work in that specific run. Bonuses to how much HP you have, how much damage you deal. Maybe you get specific new stuff that you deal, like shadow damage. Later on, you get a new stuff that buffs all the shadow damage you do. So it's a really interesting, cool, because it's very separate. And what's really important about this is that this is how you get your legendaries. And
mandatory, by the way.
Yeah, mandatory. And Preach and Bay actually interviewed Ian about this, and they asked this specific questions like, where do you draw the line between mandatory and not? And they said that there will be a version of the tower where you can just do it and get a basic legendary, but if you want to, you know, progress and min-max and get that specific stuff, you're gonna have to do this content, which I think it's fine. I think giving us liberty to do everything at once is, I don't know, it kind of, you know, doesn't make things as important as they could be.
Yeah, well, the thing is, with this one, as I said in the previous video, I think it's a really cool replayability system, like when you get bored of doing stuff, and it has a purpose with the legendary, so that's always cool. But if it does pan out to be really dynamic in that sort of sense, like roguelikes, it does have the potential to replace mage towers, because mage towers always gave you that incentive to finish them because you had the cosmetic rewards and stuff like that.
You had a goal and you had no incentive to do anything after
so
that.
having the goal within the tower here is definitely going to be huge. Now, you don't get the legendaries directly from there. You get the materials to make
craft. You have to craft it.
There's a whole complicated retcon lore there with crafting the legendary, because, you know, we're going to visit that blacksmith who presumably created.
Frostmore.
We'll get to that in another video. We're gonna get into the lore of Shadowlands in a future video for sure, because there's a lot to admire, but a lot more to complain probably. So we'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
One last thing that I wanted to say about that is that they did compare the tower to the Mythic Plus system, where if you don't like Mythic Plus, you still do the 10 weekly, just 110, and you get the bonuses. But if you really want to progress to it, you push keys higher and higher, and that's how they kind of feel the tower progression will be.
I feel that's okay. That on top of the other system that exists and work well, like Mythic Plus dungeons and stuff like that.
Still have all the rest.
Yeah. There's I feel, and I need to say this, there was a lot of stuff missing from this. I was expecting a lot more, especially on the class sides and in the systems as well, because there was no mention to PvP anything, and I was expecting that. There was no mention of vendors of any kind. There was no mention about tier sets, although information came, you know, from Mr. GM from within an interview he did that, you know, they're not going to bring tier sets. Ian with Preach said that to be decided. So I think this expansion right now is still in the very early stages. And my most optimistic thoughts would be that an alpha will probably come at the earliest, I don't know, at the end of February or something.
I think they're very careful what they're saying. I don't think the game is as infantile as we are led to believe. I think they're very careful what they're saying and promising. Because they have been burned before by promising us stuff and
let them burn, because they fuck it up.
For sure.
That's well deserved. But one thing that we didn't really cover too much, and I think they did a really good job of presenting it, and I actually got really excited for it because it does seem to allow a lot of varied gameplay and with different outcomes, are the covenants. They did say that there's a campaign for each and every one, and that the story will evolve differently for in accordance to what covenant you choose. They presented all 4 of them. You get, as we said, 2 abilities, one for your class, one for the whole covenant. All players will have that. They presented the abilities. Some of them are really cool, and I'm really curious. Like, my question would have been, are those abilities everywhere? I mean, can you use them everywhere? Because some of them might be a little bit OP in PvP.
That's a really good question. I think Bay and Preach actually asked Ian about this. They didn't ask for specific places where those abilities will be, but they asked if there is everywhere, and Ian said yes. Now, arenas is a different situation, and I don't know if they intentionally left out any talk about PvP at all, because I actually was hoping for
fucking Holinka was on stage, man. That dude used to be the symbol of PvP in WoW, but now he's like the league class.
Hopefully in the Q&A we're gonna have more about this.
Yeah, I hope Talius and Inevit will do the proper. Well, they're not gonna address the question; they're just gonna moderate it and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But so far so good. Like, the overall impression is pretty good. Aside from the backlash from the story that is kind of unfolding, I think the expansion, like the gameplay features, the systems, what they're trying to achieve here, I think it's promising. It's much better than BFA for sure.
Promising being the strong word.
Yeah, promising. Yeah, definitely. We said it in all the videos. We have to take this with caution because, again, promises like these were made in previous announcements as well, and they didn't pan out always. But so far, so good.
I want to know what you guys think. Well, both of us know. So hit us in the comment and tell us what you think about the systems, what you caught. Maybe you've seen something. Maybe you're there right now and you're just watching our video. And if you are there, what have you tested in the playable demo? Maybe something that we missed.
Yeah, man, let us know. Share the experience. Or if not, you know, just throw your thoughts in the comments over there. You know, we reply to a lot of them.
Yeah.
Big shout out to our Patreons once again. Thank you so much for your support. We love you guys. All the Patreon details are in the description. You can also find merch over there with Marcelian&Online t-shirts and mugs and hoodies and all of that jazz. See you very soon.
Take care.
In the next one. Bye.
Peace.